Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be round 3 of LCS number 11 that's happening this weekend, and this is going to be between Maxime Personnaz on Prankids versus Paulo Gonçalves on Zoodiac Eldlich as usual. And if you guys do want to check out Paulo's YouTube channel, I will link that in the description box below, as well as all of the luxury social media platforms. But let's go ahead and get started with this matchup here without any further ado. So it looks like Prankids won the RPS here, and they're going to choose to go first. Not really anything too shocking there. The opening hand for Prankids going first is going to be Triple Tactics Talent, Pandemonium, Call by the Grave, Pankratops, and Fansies. Fascinating to see Pankratops in the main deck, even though they are opting to go first here. But this hand has the Pankrats, so it's good enough, provided no interruption. And then the opening hand for Zoodiac Eldlich going second is going to be Imperm, Cosmic Cyclone, Nibiru, Drone Lockbird, and Zoodiac Wrap here. So cool to see Imperm come back a little bit into the format here. It is relatively undefined since the format is still young, so this is a nice versatile card to kind of cover for a wide variety of matchups. But we also see Droll, which is a bit more targeted towards maybe some expected meta decks such as Dragonlink and even Drytron, which we've seen a lot of Drytron today as I'm just looking around here. But yeah, no Eldritch cards in here, which is interesting, but 3 hand traps. Although I think Prankids can successfully play around each of these depending on how they play it out here. Nothing like Ash or Gamma in this hand. So we're going to see a normal summon of Fansies for Prankids, the main phase 1, that's going to link into a copy of Meow Meow. Fansies are going to trigger, that's going to send Pandemonium to summon out a copy of Dropsies. And then from here, going to link those 2 monsters away for a copy of Dodo, which allows Dodo and Dropsies to activate, but Imperm is going to be used as Chailing 3. So Dropsies will allow the Prankid player to gain 1,000, and then summon a copy of a Lampsies from deck. And then from here, those 2 will be linked away into another copy of Dodo. And then Lampsies will trigger for a copy of Roxy's from deck. And then Paulo is going to activate Nibiru here. And it looks like we're going to see a chain of Pandemonium. So that's going to fuse both of those monsters away into a copy of Rocket Ride. And then Nibiru resolves, tributing the Rocket. And then summoning itself to the board as well as the token here. And Roxy's will also be able to activate in a separate chain since it was fused, of course, for the fusion summon of Rocket Ride. So going to banish Pankratops and draw the 3rd copy of Pandemonium, it looks like. And then Roxy's will summon a copy of Fansies from deck. And then on Resolution, Paulo's going to activate Joel. So not too bad here. Tactics can be used to rip a card out of the hand here, which is going to be interesting because that's going to put Paulo on 1 card before drawing for turn. So we're going to activate Talents to look at the hand. Yeah, can't draw because of Joel, obviously. Then going to look at the hand instead. Says, I don't know if you can legally attempt to activate. Let me ask. Or if you can just choose another. I'm fairly certain you can just choose another. Because like the card is already activated. So it would be an illegal activation. So like it would go to hand theoretically, I guess. But like you would just activate it since it wasn't ever activated. So I don't think it would really make a difference there. So I can look at the hand. And then going to rip away the wrap here. Maybe it was worth using Call by the Grave on the Droll if the plan was to draw 2. Maybe just wasn't really thinking about it. But regardless, we're going to see a pass here. For turn, the top deck's going to be Tenki. Alright, so getting back to Zoo that he just lost. Going to activate Cosmic Cyclone in the draw phase. That's going to target Call by the Grave. Going to use that on Droll. Yeah, I think it was probably worth using it last turn, probably. Going to go to main phase, activate Tenki. He did that in draw phase, by the way, to play around Pandemonium, just in case. Like, it was like Pandemonium set and a Prankid in hand, because both cards were unknown. But Tenki's going to grab Whiptail, and then from here, go into normal summon Whiptail, and then go into a copy of Borbo. And then Battle Phase, going to attack over the token, and then attack into the Fansies. Going to take 700, but also going to banish the Fansies in the process. And then in main phase 2, going to go for Tiger Mortar, and then Dryden, and then pass. Not really going to Zeus here, just because against Prankids, it's fine. And having the extra body here could be useful. Draws Nibiru for turn. That is not going to be helpful. Going to pass. For turn, we're going to say a top deck Cosmic Cyclone, which could be good against like a top deck place, maybe. Battle Phase is going to attack for 13, and then 3k. And then should be an extra 100 from Tenki. Going to overlay for Shakanine, and then Hammerkong, and then Zeus. Alright, so he isn't ultimately going to end up going for Zeus. Probably playing around Nibiru initially, then, and then going for Zeus here. Ultimately, it's going to be very similar as a result. going to pass turn, and then draws a copy of Monster Reborn, which would be good, but again, you have to deal with 3 Zeus activations. Yeah, if you don't use it, yeah, I think he's just going to lose this game. Yeah, going to scoop that one up. So Zoodiac Eldlich is going to take game number 1 here. Now we're going to move into game 2, where it looks like Prank Kids are going to start things off again. If you guys are enjoying the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more videos similar to this style. But the opening hand for Prank Kids going first is going to be Desires, Call by the Grave, Dropsies, Psychic Eraser Laser, and Roxy's. I think this card came out in Blazing Vortex. So this one says, send a monster your opponent controls that was special summoned from the extra deck to the graveyard. Then your opponent gains life points equal to the original attack or defense of that monster, whichever is higher, and you can only activate 1 per turn. Interesting to side this in going first. Curious as to what the reasoning behind this is for this siding pattern. But the hand has a couple of Prank Kids and Desires, which is nice. Then the opening hand for Zoodiac Eldlich going second is going to be double Scarlet, Nibiru, Cosmic, and Prosperity. So it has Nibiru again, which could be useful, but no other hand traps this time around. Prosperity is nice in the deck because you can just kind of dig for whatever you need at the time. But Prank Kids are going to start off with a copy of Desires. That's going to banish 10, and then draw a copy of Pandemonium and Cosmic Cyclone. Let's see what the banish was. I don't think anything too relevant here. Instant Fusion is banished, and Harpy's Feather Duster. But yeah, nothing really too important. We're going to see a normal summon Dropsies. That's going to be linked away for a copy of Meow Meow. And then Dropsies triggers to gain 1,000, and then summon a copy of Fansies from deck. And then those two will be linked away for a copy of Dodo, which triggers both effects, Dodo and Fansies. So going to send a copy of Pandemonium, summon out Lampsies, and then Dodo adds a copy of Pranks. And then from here, going to be thinking, you could choose to stop comboing because of Nibiru, but this is already 5 summons. So, I mean, you're already in Nibiru range, I do believe. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, yeah, he's going to actually choose the Nibiru at this point. Thinking if he wants to chain, he does have the option to go for Pandemonium again. Chooses to do it. So going to activate it, summon a copy of Weather Washer, and then Nibiru resolves. So very similar to game 1 here. So going to summon out the token, and then activate Lampsies since it was fused away successfully. So that's going to burn for 500 and summon out Roxy's from deck. And then from here, going to activate Pranks. That is going to actually pitch the Roxy's for a token. So we can go for another link play, which is not too bad. Gonna link those off for another copy of Dodo. And then Roxy's triggers, that's gonna banish the Call by the Grave, and then summon out, or rather draw Cosmic Cyclone, and then summon out a copy of Fansies. So curious that he chose to banish Call by the Grave instead of the Psychic Eraser Laser. I do wonder what he's saving this for. I guess you could send Nibiru here, which, or wait, no, it has to be special from the extra deck, so it wouldn't work in this case. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm very curious about this this side deck card here. But going to go for a Dodo effect that's going to attribute itself to add 2 back to hand from the graveyard. Going to pick Pandemonium and Dropsies. So it doesn't actually have the Battle Butler set up, I don't think, because there's no way to get Lampsies here. So this is just set Cosmic, set Pandemonium, set another Cosmic, and then pass. Thankfully for the Prank Kids player, Paulo drew a lot of the Eldritch cards where Cosmic is much more effective. If it was Zoos, then it would really be a big issue. But Prosperity can help dig for it as well. Going to go end phase Pranks, that's going to recycle 3 and then draw 1. This would ideally be a hand trap here. Oh, actually, that might have been even better. That was the Lampsies. Wow. So now the Battle Butler setup is alive currently, which is pretty good. So unless Paulo, I guess, like snipes it with Cosmic in the draw standby phase, then this is going to be a pretty good setup for Prank Kids. So that draw was actually pretty insane. So we're going to say a top deck Skullmeister for turn. A little bit too late. Would have liked that on the first turn there. So we're going to go for a blind Cosmic Cyclone in the draw phase. It doesn't hit the Pandemonium. So we will see Battle Butler resolving, in fact. Going to go to main phase 1 here. He's thinking, going to go battle phase and attack into the Fansies. So, oh yeah, thinking to go to the end of main phase 1. Going to activate Pandemonium. Of course, because this can only be activated in the main phase. So chooses to fuse everything away for the Battle Butler. And then Dropsies, Lampsies, and Fansies all trigger here. So that's going to summon out a copy of Dropsies after sending Pandemonium. And then going to deal 500 and summon out a copy of Roxy's. And then gain 1,000 and summon out a copy of Dropsies. If real life events were happening, this deck would be extremely frustrating to play against. Just because the life point gain and the burn damage in time is nasty. But we're still in main phase 1, so Paulo is going to activate Pot of Prosperity. That's going to banish, looks like 6. We can actually take a look at this here. Alsa, Tiger, Chakanine, Vespinato, Zeus, and Borbo. Nothing really too crazy there. He's going to go for Prosperity, banish 6, and actually hits no zoo monsters. Now that is kind of crazy. I mean, zoo monsters are a lot weaker against Battle Butler specifically, but I guess that's not a bad thing overall. We could take Lord here maybe and send away the Battle Butler, which is decent as well. That way we can get like our Eldritch Engine online perhaps. And that's not horrible. Yeah, he's going to take Golden Lord here, which is pretty reasonable, I would say. The rest go back to the bottom. And then from here, he's going to be thinking. Going to activate Golden Lord. That's going to actually send away Pranks. So chooses to leave the Battle Butler alone. Fascinating. Chooses to set Scarlet, send it away for Golden Lord. So I guess he just wants to attack over the Battle Butler, because it wouldn't be able to be destroyed by the Battle Butler effect anyway, because Golden Lord was used. Yeah, that makes sense. So this gets rid of the potential longevity in the grind game with Pranks. He's going to have to like Dodo add it back later. So we're going to proceed to battle phase. He's going to Nibiru attack over one of the Dropsies. And then in response to the attack, we're going to see Battle Butler use. That's going to banish Meow Meow and then wipe the board. Or just the Nibiru. And then Golden Lord going to attack into the Dropsies. So actually chooses not even to clear it. Clear the Battle Butler, that is. Which is fair because this does float on Destruction. Going to go ahead and banish Scarlet in main phase 2 for Conquistador. And then pass back. End phase going to Cosmic Cyclone, which is pretty good. So now he's just playing against a Meister. This is looking to be a pretty good game for Prank Kids. Draws Desires for turn. Oh, actually, yeah, this isn't really going to be that useful here. I really am so curious about this Psychic Eraser Laser. But going to go ahead and link away the Dropsies for Meow Meow. Dropsies triggers, and that is actually just going to be the end of game 2. So Prank Kids tying up the series 1-1. Let's go and move on into game number 3 here. Looks like they are encountering a bug, so they're going to have to remake this game on Dueling Book. Yeah, side error, cards are missing. Now they have to call a judge. This is a nice thing about replays, is that we don't have to actually like sit through this in real time. So judge comes in, remakes the game. Now they're doing a rematch, and then yeah, Paulo is going to get to decide here. So oh, they're choosing to just scoop the game and then redo it, I guess. They're doing this in a bit of a convoluted fashion, but it works. They get a 3-minute extension. All right, so Paulo is going to choose to go first in game 3. Pretty predictable. And before we get started in game 3, just want to quickly shout out my patrons as usual. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. The long form and consistent content is made possible thanks to you guys. If you do want to help out support the Patreon as well, check it out in the description box below. But in game 3 here, we're going to see Zoodiac Eldlich go first, and their opening hand is going to be double Ash, double Eldon, and Barrage. That is a very weird hand, but it's actually quite strong because it's a Zoo plus Curse Eldon, so it's very close to ideal. And then the opening hand for Prank Kids going second is going to be Dropsies, Roxy's, Lamsies, Ash, Psychic Eraser Laser. This card coming in again will be more useful this time around because there are Zoos to kind of contend with. Which I guess that makes sense in this matchup since Dryden just popping your normal summon Prank Kid really just ends your turn. So we're going to see an activation of Curse Eldon in main phase 1. That's going to pay 800 to grab a copy of Conquistador. And then Barrage is going to activate. That is going to pop the Curse Eldland. Really, really high value there. Summoning out Whiptail from deck. And then Curse Eldon gets the trigger, sending Walkero. And then from here, going to go into Borbo, and then Tiger Mortar, and then Trident. And then going to set the Conquistador. End phase, going to banish Walkero from grave to summon out or rather set a copy of Scarlet from deck. And then going to pass. So this is actually not too bad for Prank Kids. Just because we have the Eraser Laser to deal with Trident. We have Ash to deal with Scarlet. But unfortunately, the Ash in Paulo's hand is going to prove to be pretty troublesome. So going to go to main phase 1, activate the Eraser Laser, going to target the Trident, and then I believe you actually don't gain life points because it's original attack or defense, and Trident's original is 0, just gains from the materials. So yeah, you definitely don't gain life points there. Going to normal summon the Roxy's, and then on summon, going to attempt to activate Scarlet, that gets met with Ash Blossom. And then going to link that off for a copy of Meow Meow. And then the Roxy's will get Ash here. I actually just noticed he drew one of every single Prank Kid's name, which is not what you want to see. Not without like any fusion spells with it. Gonna go to battle phase and attack for 1,000. He's thinking here, you're going to take the attack, main phase 2, pass. So yeah, looking pretty good for Zoodiac Eldlich, because there's another Ash for the next Prank Kid. So he has both engines online, since he has another Curse Eldon and another copy of Barrage to activate. Wait, it's the same copy, but another activation of it. And draws Nibiru for turn, so that's like going to add insult to injury here. Going to activate Curse Eldon, pay 800, that's going to grab a search for a copy of Conquistador. And then Barrage going to target Curse Eldon, that's going to pop it, and then summon a copy of Therablade from deck. And then Curse Eldon gets a trigger again, so that's going to send a copy of Golden Lord. He's just so far ahead. Going to go into Shakanine, and then Tiger Mortar, and then detach Shakanine for the Whiptail. And then that's going to be met with a second Conquistador. That's going to be sent away for the Golden Lord effect. So this is quite a fair amount of damage on board right now. Going to go Tiger Mortar, attack into the Meow Meow, and then Whiptail banish. So that's going to be 1800 damage. Yeah, the Eldon attack restriction is only as long as it's on field. If it applied for the rest of the turn, that card would be markedly worse. Going to go and attack for 3500 though. And then in main phase 2, we're going to see an overlay of Hammer Kong and then Zeus. So this is a 2-mat Zeus, Conquistador pop, Nibiru, and Ash. So 4 interruptions against what looks to be 3 normal summons, and that is not where you want to be if you're Prank Kids. Going to end phase. Oh, also there's going to be Walkero in the end phase. That's right, because Scarlet can still be used. So that's going to banish to grab Walkero. So 5 interruptions. And then going to go ahead and Conquistador for Scarlet. So this is looking pretty insurmountable if you were Prank Kids right here. Draws Triple Tactics Talent, which could be useful depending on which interruption gets used, but I feel like it's just going to be Conquistador on summon just to kind of play around that. Because we did see Talent in game number 1, so definitely got to be mindful of it. I'm going to normal summon Dropsies, and then on summon, yeah, I'm going to go Conquistador to pop it, and then we're just going to see him show the hand. And even though it says siding in progress, that is the end of the match. So Zoodiac Eldlich takes this match 2-1 against Prank Kids. That was a fair amount of back and forth, actually. But pretty interesting to see Prank Kids still trying to make things work. It didn't really get helped out by the ban list, unfortunately. It's just kind of got the same problems where it's really normal summon reliant. And if you open too many of them and like no fusion spells, you're kind of just not really able to extend past any interruptions, which is unfortunate. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with the links in the description box as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.